hang on, before you start. Okay, now you can keep going.
Copy that. All right. Episode 20. Let's go. G'day, listeners, and welcome to another episode of the AUSNZ Community Podcast. Today, it is episode number 20. And just before we started the podcast, I believe we are now officially the longest running podcast in the HCR2 community. So a big congrats to us and a big pat on our shoulders. And yeah, we're going to keep going and there's lots more to come there. All right. Before we start getting into it, hope everybody is well. We have a great guest on this evening to talk to us, and his name is Innocence. So, he's going to come in and chat to us. A huge part of the community. He's a player in Team 1, of course, a team leader in the server, and a good all-round champion bloke. And, yeah, we can't wait to chat to him a bit later on. Going to be talking a lot about Tool, which is one of his favourite bands, mine also, so is Pete's. And, yeah, we're going to talk a lot of things. So, got to be some discussions about men's mental health and a few other little bits and pieces as well, which is a couple of serious subjects. As always, let's get stuck into it. Welcome to the other hosts, which is Pete and Eva. Gentlemen, welcome, episode 20.
G'day. How are we all?
How are you, Pete? All right?
Yeah, good. Just sort of taking it easy, not working as hard as I was.
Yeah,
good to be
right.
back, and thanks for stepping in for me last episode, JR.
Yeah. Welcome back, Pete.
Yeah, thank you.
You were AFK. Welcome back to the microphone, mate. And yeah, it was
good to be back.
Glad that you're all better, because you certainly didn't sound like you were too well that week.
It was my own fault. I had a function on and I ate way too much. I just couldn't stay awake. Yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah, you couldn't function properly.
Yeah,
fair enough. And episode 20, mate. Can you believe that? Wow, what a great achievement that is.
Absolutely. And how are you today, Eva?
Yeah, doing well. Have had the craziest of 2 weeks. My colleague is on leave at the moment, and all of his phone and email traffic has basically been diverted to me. So,
that's so good when that happens, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's part of the job. Not a big deal.
Does that mean you get his pay as well?
No. No. I've hit budget for the month on day 9 already.
Like you've reached your targets or budget?
No. My targets are budget. Like, I've got to get to budget, and I've hit budget already by day 9. It's going ballistic. Throw in Father's Day. Drove to Adelaide on Father's Day weekend on Friday night. Got back Sunday night. And
hang on, you drove to Adelaide at night?
I drove to Adelaide. I left my place at 10:30 p.m. Arrived in Adelaide at 7:45 a.m. after a 4-hour nap. Children, don't do this at home.
Yeah, only if you're experienced drivers. That's a big trip.
And then, yeah, spent the day with Dad on Saturday. Did some more stuff on Sunday morning. Had lunch with Dad on Sunday morning, or Sunday lunch. I probably shouldn't have had a big plate of pasta before an 8-hour drive, because by about just after Taylor Bend, it was kind of that was so nice. I feel so comfortable. Oh, I could have a little nap right now.
Yes, I know that feeling.
But yeah, that's my 13th trip so far in the last 3 years of living in Melbourne and driving to Adelaide to see family. So the car kind of knows the road now. So yeah, but no, I've been very busy. Just finished editing the last episode, episode 19, which should be up in the next day or so. Apologies, that's all my fault.
No need to apologise, mate.
Had
How
a lot
dare
on
you
my
be
plate.
busy?
Yeah, had a lot on my plate, but I can guarantee you it is worth the wait. Hearing both HWA and DeBell back on the podcast as I was editing today was amazing. So hold on to your hats, guys, because it's coming.
Excellent.
We could probably do a double drop of an episode, because if we do this one and if you're not so busy next week or whatever, we could drop both episodes. Because I'm looking forward to this one as well. There's going to be a cracker of a show.
Likewise. So this episode will take me a couple of days. I'll try and get on top of it.
No, it's okay. Take your time, mate, and no need to apologise. Well, we all got busy lives. We all got work and other commitments outside of the game and the podcast. So don't worry about it, mate. It's going to be worth the wait, and people I'm sure will love it. So,
yep.
Wow. Okay, so some news. Well, I suppose the biggest news of the week, or at the start of the month, is that our Team 1 have restarted themselves. Basically, there's a few reasons. A couple of reasons is the majority of the players are pretty burnt out. They just come off a Dream Team month, and we had a lot of players exit the team and go back to their other international teams, which left...
And a couple of people retire as well.
We've had a couple retirees, and we basically were left with about 31 to 32 players in the main team. So there was a big decision by the Team 1 leaders to restart and start from scratch down to Division 7.
Well, it wasn't just that too. They were constantly playing the same teams over and over.
I was getting to that, but thanks for dropping it.
I ruined your bit. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That was the other main reason, is because the matchmaking, the auto matchmaking with the auto matchmaking system just kept matching the same teams every month, and they just got sick of it, and they just wanted to restart basically on that reason as well. So. Eva, you're a part of Team 1, and so are you, Pete. So, you want to share some thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Well, I was part of Team 1, but I moved out for Dream Team, so I'm a Team 2 guy now.
Yeah, Eva, you've obviously been involved with T1 as well, but basically, I think the majority of the players, were pretty burnt out. It's fair to say. And they probably wanted to start fresh, I guess.
Well,
yeah, you go. Sorry.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I'm a bit disappointed because, the whole thing about having all these teams across all these different divisions was we had a top tier team, and I'm not disappointed in the people, the players, or anything like that. I'm disappointed in the situation that's got us to where we are.
Yeah.
So, there's been lots of talk about it. We've had lots of discussions about it. We've had lots of, going backwards and forwards with people, and, with HCR as well. And yeah, it feels like we've done. Well, the only thing we've actually done about it was talk about it, and there's never been any actual change.
Do you think we've taken a giant step back in our progress as a team and community? Do you think we've taken a real big step back here, or do you think it could be a step back, but for the greater purpose in the future? Like,
look,
you need to take a step back to gain again.
No, I think that like at the end of the day, we need players who want to play, and to do that, we need a game that people want to play. So, if we don't have either, then we're kind of, stuck. You know what I mean?
Yep, so, that's true. Yeah, it's very hard. And also, just we don't really want to talk about merging as well, because if we were to merge with another community or team, we basically lose everything that we've built up as a team and community. You know, we lose the AUSNZ name, we lose the history, our team culture. We lose all that, and that's something we don't really want to sacrifice, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I think the decision to Dreddy and Co to restart Team One was at this present time and day was probably the right decision. But never fear, guys. Team One will be back, and they'll be ready in a couple of months to climb back up the ladder and challenge again in the CC division. I'm sure the boys will be and girls will be hungry as ever. Let's hope.
Yep. Some of them just needed to find the fun again because it was becoming a chore.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't want to get too personal in my current situation, but I'm kind of feeling that way as well. I'm kind of on the outs as well. I'm not really been enjoying it. I'm going for a similar patch as to what our guest is coming on this evening is Inno. Inno has been going for a love-hate relationship with the game just as much as I am at the moment as well. So it'll be great to talk to Inno later, because I really want to ask him about difficult decisions about leaving, not just leaving the game, but just
having a break.
Yeah, having a break and just getting away from it all and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to talking to him about that later, because it kind of involves me, because over the next couple of weeks I've got a bit of a big decision to make as well on my future in the game. So haven't made one yet, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that pans out.
Well,
right.
And something that's good about that is having internal competition, like competition against your teammates. I find that helps a lot.
Yeah, I want to talk about also our next big subject. I want to talk about the new scoring system going up from 10K to 15K. It hasn't been received well in the community. I've seen a lot of negative feedback on the suggestions channel in the Fingersoft server. Reese, if you're listening, which I know you always do to every episode, mate, there is a lot of there isn't really good feedback with the new scoring system. I think changes need to be made again, and it's up to you guys to listen to the community. I mean, there's been other players that I've spoke to as well that are liking the new scoring system as well, and liking the new challenges with the team events and things like that. But yeah, it's like it really does something on your how do I say it? Like your confidence, your morale level, like especially your confidence with regards to team event scoring. Going from a mid 30K scorer to low 30K scorer, and then having this new team event scoring system come on, and all of a sudden you're scoring in the low 20s or the mid 20s, and it kind of deflates you, and it really takes it out of you, saying, Jesus, I used to be good, but obviously I'm not good because the scoring is so much more difficult. In the new stage, in the new team event, we've got the stage 2, which is the Moonlander long jump, right? Mm-hmm. To get 15K, you need to score over 700 meters. It is impossible. So what I don't understand is why make 15K score so difficult that's practically impossible to get. That's
his whole thing.
I don't understand that at all.
Not impossible. It was just near impossible.
It is. That's what he was saying. It is impossible. You cannot.
With the Moonlander, maybe.
No, nobody has ever gotten past 700 meters on that track at any vehicle. With any vehicle, not just the Moonlander, not just the bus. Nobody.
But the good news is now you can get past 10K.
Well, yeah, we used to get 10K
Yeah.
scores all the time with those long jump tracks in the space maps, but
Yeah.
now it's practically impossible to get a top score because, like, at the moment, my best at the moment is about 7.5K. I've only got a couple of runs, and I'm like, I never used to get this. I used to get 10K all the time, and now I can't even get 10K. So I don't know.
He shouldn't have changed the whole way it went. It should have been leave it as it was, but then if you got better than 10K, it just kept going up.
You know,
They should have changed the system.
My issue is if something is not broken, why fix it?
I can answer that.
The scoring system wasn't broken.
I can answer that. As an engineer, we look to ways to make things easier to break so you can pay to fix them.
Yeah.
I'm making light of a very serious situation.
I know, mate. I really want to get your thoughts on this because I know you're really enjoying not enjoying the, how do I say, you are enjoying the new ways of the team events and things like that. As we were speaking earlier, but just want to get your side of it and get your thoughts on the new scoring system.
I think we all wanted a challenge. Don't get me wrong. We wanted to make team scoring harder because it evened out the scores. Because it was getting to a point now. Some of the top teams, there was basically 100 points between the top 15 players. They were all in the 39s and whatever. So we've made it so that it's harder to get a 10K score or even a 15K score. But in saying that, having 3 Kanga events where all we're doing is testing someone's ability to Kanga, that can be a bit frustrating. So, and I'm all for making the events harder because it means that the people who are better will get better scores. That's great. That's what we want.
And they get a challenge again as well.
Make it a challenge. But I still think that there's ways and means of doing that, and they haven't really addressed it properly. Like you said, they fixed it, but they didn't have to fix that. They needed to fix other things, and they fixed something that didn't actually need fixing, to a certain degree.
Yep. Yep. Fair enough. And you know what? Look, I have never been. I'm one of the biggest supporters of change. Particularly with this game, I always want change. I want updates. I want new things to try, new team event modes. I've always been an advocate for that, right? But when they change something of the game where it doesn't need to be changed so much that it affects pretty much a lot of the plot. It's not just the top team event scorers that they're sometimes struggling with the new scoring system. The lower GP players are really having a tough time with the scoring system.
Yeah.
They are really struggling. And let's be honest, the majority of the players that play worldwide have a score are lower GP players. They're not higher GP players.
Yeah.
I reckon there's more lower GP players under 6K than there is players over 6K around the world. Statistically, that's probably something we could ask Reese. I mean, he'd be able to find the data on that to see how many players, that play the game are under a certain GP to how many players that are over a certain GP. That would be interesting to find out. But a lot of lower GP players have been playing the recent team events and stuff, and they've been struggling to really score, and their confidence is just really shot. They're like, it's not even worth running a ticket because they're not even going to get any points to contribute to the team. So what's the point?
Yeah, but the thing with that is it's affecting everybody. It's affecting low GP players more. I get that, but it's across all of them. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's in the same boat. And I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
It's
It's an interesting one. I just think the Fingersoft developers need to listen to the community. I think they need to read that suggestion channel. I know they say they do, which I believe they do, but reading is one thing, but acting on it is another. So I think they need to sort it out soon. Otherwise, they're going to lose a lot of players, and a lot of players are going to retire and give the game up, and that's not what they want, because at the end of the day, it's all about business.
Yeah.
And it's money making. And if they lose their VIP subscriptions and their players, I mean, that's loss of income. So hopefully they do something very soon.
Yeah.
Anyway, but like I was saying before, I want change. Like, new team event modes would be a blessing. Like, that would be fantastic. Just new ways to run a team event. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head now, but you're right, Eva. Let's get rid of Kanga, because we're all sick of Kanga, and let's find something else where it can really show everybody's skills. But we need introduction of new team event modes, because I think that will bring players back, especially if they're like lots of fun.
Well, now that you say that, the current public event is all brand new moon maps.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah,
so that's good.
That's a good start. And I've never really played a public event moon map with
a trailer.
With trailer, yeah, with cargo. So that's quite interesting. I'll
touch more on that a bit later.
Yeah, touch more on that a bit later. So, Eva, what were you going to chat about?
Well,
mate?
I was going to talk briefly about the Baldur Cup, which is currently
Baldur Cup.
The Baldur Cup. It's a daily race. It's 14 rounds. We're currently doing round 10, which I have not done today because I've been editing a podcast. So round 9 was the rally car round. So rally car, no parts. And from first to last place, there was only 1 second separating us all. Mind you, no parts. So, and this is where I look back at all the stuff we've talked about in terms of, the holding something in your hand makes a difference, and the rally car paint makes a difference, and 1 second between first and last place.
It's pretty crazy.
It's amazing.
How many races is that in total?
Oh, there's about 35 of us.
And all different garage powers too. So
all different garage powers, but
just goes to show, doesn't it? It doesn't really matter about max GP or low GP. It's all about how you're racing.
Yeah, it's how you're racing. And then the other thing is, I honestly think that that whole, having something in your hand, some of it's, I don't know. Yeah,
what about crushing your teeth as you're like putting, like slamming your thumbs down on your phone as hard as you can? Does that get you an extra millisecond?
Absolutely makes you go faster.
Grinding your teeth, or like that's what I do when I.
No, I actually tilt my phone to the left, or to the right, because if you tilt your phone to the right, the car's going downhill, not uphill.
What about when you do jump shocks? Do you jump as well?
No, because what you want to do is you want to drop down as the car's going up. If you jump at the same time, then it's countering what you're doing. You see?
Yeah. So you dip down as you jump.
I dip the phone down as I'm using the jump shocks.
Yep, makes sense.
Oh man, that's too funny.
No, I'm staring. No, but the good thing about this Daily Cup, so the first, we did something a little differently. The first 7 races were with parts, and then the last 7 races.
I quietly just missed the first 5.
Yeah, and the last 7 races were without parts, and we've got a slather of different people who are doing extremely well. I'm going to make some shout outs. So at the end of round 9, RS De Boss is leading, and he's got a reasonably clear lead over Moxie. And Sarajevo is close enough to Moxie that he's a threat. And then
That's RF for anyone watching. That's RF.
RF, okay.
Yep.
So in position 4, AN HWA, our mate HWA, who's seriously a threat to Sarajevo. And then Captain Undies, who's a serious threat to above. And then Fluffy in 6th place, and Moff BR from Ricky Baker on 622. So there's 200 points between 1st and 7th place after 9 rounds. And the other notable mentions are Hyped, Jan from Swedish Power, Jorken Interprata Svenska, and
What?
Maury rounding out the top 10. So I'm probably in the teens, maybe. I haven't checked. And I'm not really that fussed. I've probably spent 20 minutes.
Yeah,
In
I'm not fussed.
in between 700 emails and
I
5 phone calls over the last week.
I've missed a couple of tracks and vehicles, so I'm not too fussed as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, I missed out on the start because I had the server muted, so I missed the ping saying it started.
I reckon look out for HWA. He is a dark horse because he's going to come pretty good in the next couple of rounds because he's
good with no parts.
He's a no parts specialist. Yeah,
he's good with no parts. So
and
we'll
really
see.
good with the monowheel too.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I consider him probably Australia's best monowheel player. He's probably, I don't see any. I mean, nobody else is really. He's got a lot of Australian records. So he's probably one of the best in Australia in monowheel. I mean, I know Daspo holds him in high regard, so yeah.
No, for sure.
But Moxie and DeBoss, they're just they're incredible players. So I reckon they could probably fight it out as well. So 2 young guns at the top, or 3 of them, 3 young guns at the top.
Yep, makes sense.
Yeah, indeed.
But it's a good competition. It's a great competition here because it's kind of like split up the parts and no parts, because you got your I think the tracks that we played with the parts were just, I didn't like them at all, and most of them were the uphill ones, and I'm like, I don't like the uphill oons, and you had to use different strategies. If we had some of the vehicles that we've got with the current fast asphalt tracks, it'd be a bit easier, I think. Yeah.
No, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, and also, just a quick shout out to Baldur, of course. It was a good initiative to name the cup in his honour, and he's an ex champion as well of the dailies, and I think it was great to because he's going through a bit of a rough period, as we all know, in his life, and it's great to name the cup after him as well. So a decision around for you officials to do that.
I must say one thing quickly. When we were doing one of the monster truck runs, I've actually have a video of this. Jean recorded it for me so then he could see, because there was 3 of us that were basically 0.001 apart.
Wow.
How about you send me that video and I will play it right now on YouTube so everybody could see.
Yeah, I will. And because it's the 3 of us. He's obviously racing. He's recorded his racing run with the 3 of us in the racing run, and the 3 of us go over the line. It is just like, and we took 3 different lines. This was the coolest part. We took 3 different lines with the same parts, obviously, but all 3 of us finished literally dead on balls, and it was just really cool.
There's no swearing in the server. If you want to do that, take it elsewhere, please.
You tell him, mate. You tell him.
I think Matebot Bro thinks he's Cyber Bill. Sorry about that, Eva.
Been hanging around him too much.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, look, that's cool. So send me that video so our listeners can watch that and they can see it happening. And I'll put it up right now. Cool. Yeah. So all right. Pete, do we have? Sorry, Eva, is that it for the Baldur Cup?
Yeah. And I'd like to also say a big shout out to Baldur. He was always one of the guys to try and beat in the daily races. So it's missing you being in there. So the fact that it's named after you has kind of made it kind of special.
Yep. Here. Agreed. All right, Pete. So we've had a couple of team events come and go, and we've had a couple of PE events come and go, mate.
All right, where shall I start? Team events or public events?
Yeah, it's up to you, mate.
I might go with the new public event.
Sounds good.
I can't remember the last one. That's right. Fly You Fools was the previous public event, which was multi-jump, just like the team event was multi-jump. Anyway, that one was quite good. It's always a good turnout in the flash mobs. And I think the practice track for one of the team event tracks was number 5. Can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
We had track 1 in that multi-jump and one of the team events.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, track 1 was my favourite, so I remember it. It was my favourite track.
I remember almost 2,000 metres.
Something like that. I can't remember, but the forest track, it is, and it's the multi-jump forest track. That's what I call it, and it's probably one of my favourites. I use either the Super Jeep, either Super Jeep or the Mark 1, either the two.
I was using Super Diesel.
Super Diesel or Super Jeep, the Jeep, either one.
Just the Mark 1.
Yeah.
Not the Mark 2.
Before you continue on, I just want to run through the flash mob multi-jump records.
Yes, please go through those.
I've got them here. So for the track it was called Super Bill Boy. That was the one you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got for multi-jump 1, Green took out the jump title with 1,446 metres. Fluffy was jump 2 with 840 metres. Hyped took out the next 2 with jump 3 and jump 4 with 1,012 metres and 1,049 metres. And then we had a bit of a Fluffy run. Fluffy took out jump 5, 6 and 7. And jumps 5 was 721, jump 6 566, and jump 7, which was the tunnel mines one, 298. Jump 8 was Dreddy. I don't know how Dreddy came up with that one. No one beat you on that one, but good on you, mate. 356 metres. Amy took out jump 9, which was 502 metres. And Fluffy rounded out the space moon jump map at 773 metres. So Fluffy with 4 stage wins, Fluffy got 5 stage wins and Hyped with 2. So
out of how many tracks was there?
There were 10 tracks. So
10
tracks, 5 wins. Yeah, pretty.
What a machine!
Yeah, he's regarded as probably one of the best multi-jump players in Australia by far. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for doing that, GTR.
Oh, sorry, mate. I didn't want to steal your thunder, but I just thought I would just go because I remember recording the records myself on the on the
Yeah,
public
it's all
event
good.
channel. So, yeah. Anyway, go for it.
It was good fun pinging you whenever someone got a record.
Yeah. Oh, I don't mind because my pings are on silent. So if they would ping me, I wouldn't have got it until I jumped on Discord next anyway. So,
Oh, okay. That's
yeah.
probably a good move.
Yeah.
Current public event is the brand new tracks on the moon, which we haven't had before. It is a towing track, a towing event, as we mentioned earlier, and they're calling them moon cakes, not cans or anything like that. There are 8 different tracks, and my favourite setup is just to use the hot rod with what do you call them? Chains, coin boost, and fuel boost. So far, it's been pretty good. I've got a couple of firsts, and yeah. How about you guys? You enjoying this one, the new one?
It's not a bad. It's something different, which I like. I've said that before.
Exactly.
And it's fun. And I've been playing. I think I'm up to about 150 points or something like that. But I'm going to try and knock off a lot tomorrow and probably see if I can get to about 400. But yeah, it's pretty. It's not too bad. It's once you get to know the tracks, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's just you just got to figure out the tracks, and then once you figure them out, it's it's pretty cool to try and get a good time with them. But obviously the key to cargo is to try and keep all your cargo, because if you lose it, you're gonna drop down in time. So
Yeah.
that's
I
the key.
love some of the names of the tracks, like Speedy Moonsalis and One Giant Leap.
Yeah.
And Flotex is another one.
Flotex.
Reese has been having fun with these names, I can tell you what.
Yeah, Flotex. I could see your little thing that you put on the Discord server now.
Yep.
Mooncake was one, and
Speedy Mooncake. Oh, sorry, Harvest Mooncake.
Harvest Mooncake, yeah, and Speedy
Go Moonhead
Moonsalis.
and go Moonhead and jump.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh man. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like to probably do this one again.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah. What about you, Eva? Have you played this new one much at all?
No, I haven't had any. I haven't done any of these public events at the moment. I haven't done a public event in a while, unfortunately. And the way I am at the moment, I'm probably not going to do one for a while.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, that's fair enough, mate. Yeah, it's. Did you? I don't look. I don't want to put you guys on the spot here, and don't answer it.
Then don't put us on the spot.
Oh, but I want to for the audience.
Yes, go for it.
Did you guys test any of these maps before they were released in your being a beta tester at all?
We can't answer that, GTR.
Okay. I don't know if you're allowed to answer it now that they're released or not, but yeah, I'm guessing maybe yes, that the answer to that is yes, but I can say yes on behalf of you guys anyway. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what you guys would have done. So, which is pretty cool. To try out new things, new maps, and things like that, which is great. So,
all right, moving on to the team events.
Go for it.
A good day to die. I mean, good day to drive. That was hard to say for some reason. That was the first team event with the new scoring system, with the 15,000 points instead of 10K.
Why did they not have a Super Diesel or a Mark 1 here for my favorite multi-jump track? I don't know.
I have no idea. There's only two cars that can really do Kanga.
Yeah.
And there was 3 tracks that needed it.
Well, three cars that have the Kanga ability and
Well,
82 that can do
Monster
them
Truck
properly.
is not a good car to Kanga, but Alex has proven otherwise, but I can't do it.
So has Vershak. He
Yes,
proved
well,
it.
he's Vershak, isn't he?
Well, that's
He can
true
do
as
anything.
well. Yeah. Look, yeah, I don't know. I struggled. Just yeah, the scoring. I was just really poor, and
Yep.
which just proved why I'm in T2. At the end of it,
We were all struggling. But
yeah,
funnily enough, the guys in Team 3 with the lower GPs, like the 4K, low fives, they were getting in the 30s
really,
because they love Kangaroo because they're adventure players. So they're trying to grow their GP, so they're getting used to the Kangaroo setup. Yeah, they were getting 15K on tracks 1 and track 3. So
track
that was,
3 was pretty much the track where you could potentially get 15k more
yeah,
times than not. I achieved it a couple of times, both on pointless runs, might I add. But I did achieve 15k on it. But yeah,
I didn't get it once. I got close, but not quite 15.
I got lucky on a couple, and then they were just pointless runs because I'd stuffed up the first two.
Yeah.
So I kept switching between the buggy and the ECVV with track 1. I couldn't make up my mind which one I wanted to stick with. Every ticket was different, so I just didn't know which one to do.
Yeah. I
really,
was sticking with the buggy on track 1.
yeah,
There's a lot of people using the monster truck, like Vershak did.
yeah, couldn't do it. I couldn't do them. I tried multiple times to do them off the track on that track, and I like the track. I know where the landing spots are and everything like that, but I couldn't. Yeah, I just couldn't get any airtime, and I couldn't time my jump shocks right, and yeah, it just fell apart. Really, didn't.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think the most I got was 4K.
Yeah, I got around about that too.
Yeah, same. I think I got maybe a 6 on my main, but yeah, no, it was definitely a tricky one, track 1. The next event was, let me get to it, called Vibe Shift. And this is the current team event, which I'm actually enjoying. Hang on, is it that one? I might have to
Um,
start again here.
no, it's yeah, Vibe Shift is the one. You're
Yep,
correct.
Vibe Shift. Yep,
It's
cool.
called It's called Vibe Shift. Yeah.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's got the 2 moon maps at the start,
yeah,
and then we've
so
got the
time attack, long
Yep.
jump, time attack, and a cargo.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm actually really enjoing this event.
the
So much
downhill
better than
desert. The
previous.
downhill desert was pretty good.
Yeah.
Um,
Which vehicle are you using for that one, and what parts?
oh, that's simple. Motor X.
Motocross with you got the cage on?
No cage. So I'm using afterburner, landing boost, and wings.
Yeah. I need to put a cage on because the amount of times I hit my head with the cage on.
See, the trick is all about your landing boost landings. If you land them correctly, you won't need the cage
Yeah, that's
because
where I stuff up.
you can just glide underneath them using the wings. So you shouldn't need the cage,
Yeah,
especially if you hit your landing spots correctly.
yeah, that's the thing. I can't always do that.
Well,
But never.
I've done 2 safety runs where I've used the cage and gotten 7K for the run. So now that I've done that, I can trial it with no cage and see if I can get it right.
Yeah,
Just Chills just posted something in the general channel, so he's using the Mark
kangaroo
1.
Jeep.
Yeah, Kangaroo Jeep, for all those Kangaroo pros out there. And he got 10.9k in his first try. I actually saw Vershak and Vercope doing the same thing with the Jeep. So you could either use a Jeep or a Motor X with this, but I just went the Motor X because I don't know, I think
seemed
it's
right.
just a bit easier for me, to be honest. Yeah.
I must admit, I did try the kangaroo jeep as well, and my first try, I got death. So I decided not to do that.
Yeah, I decided not to do it because with my kangaroo jeep, I just bounced too high.
Yes.
And if you see, I'm not using Kanga style with the Motor X. I'm just using landing boost, so I don't get that spring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I've gone with it.
Yep. The cargo track number 4. That's the track that I've actually managed to get past 10K on once or twice with the racing truck. I'm using start boost, landing boost, start boost, coin boost, and afterburner.
I was going to say landing boost. Geez, that's kind of
Yeah,
game.
no, that wasn't correct.
Yep, that's the same parts I'm using as well.
I'm surprised no one's using the Jeep on that tunnel run and going over with thrusters.
I find that the Jeep doesn't have powerful thrusters.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if you can go over with the thrusters. I think the Super Jeep can, but not the Mark 1.
Okay.
Just Chill was typing something in the general channel now. Just wait till.
Yeah, sorry, I dropped out. I just dropped out a second ago. I'd said that and found out I wasn't actually. I was talking to myself.
Yeah.
My best score on track 4 is 8.114 seconds, and that got me 10.199.
That's pretty good, mate.
I was so happy with it.
It's a smooth run if you don't lose all your cans. If you lose your cargo, then you're going to get a good score. If you've got 20 out of 20, you are going to get a great score, especially if you're getting smooth runs with that.
I find that dipping your nose down going into one of the dips, it keeps the trailer off the ground so it doesn't buckle. If that makes sense.
Is your downforce set to 1?
Yes.
So listeners out there, if your downforce is max, put it down to 1. So that's a little trick for that.
Yeah, I've always got it set on 1. I never put it up on the racing truck. The only thing I turn downforce up on is the formula because of the stay on the ground stages.
Yeah.
That's the only time I upgrade it.
Well, it is faster with afterburner with the truck if your downforce is set to maximum.
Yeah, right. But then you also get pushed down towards the ground sooner, don't you?
Yeah, so you don't get as much height in the air, but it means you're driving for longer. So it's a trade-off. Like you trade off one for the other.
But being being a bit of a bumpy map.
Yeah, no. Sorry, I'm not saying for this track. I'm saying for other tracks.
Yes.
Yeah, not for this track. So for this track, you want to fly as long as you can, and space your landing so you don't jostle the cans and stuff. So it's a series of well-timed jumps and landings, if you know what I mean, or well-timed landings, not anything else.
Josh Chill was saying that the thrusters are probably not strong enough to get over the top of the mountain, as it's probably a bit too high.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the Jeep, they're not very strong on there.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good team event. I am like you, Peter. I'm enjoying this much better than the previous one. Although I really haven't run many tickets to post a good score yet. I'm hoping to do that tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, have you got anything to add, Eva?
No, I'm cool.
Shall we get our guest in?
That's probably a good idea.
I reckon it's a pretty good idea because we're going over time again.
Surprise!
Surprise! Geez, sorry guys, we could talk everybody's ear off. All right, let's get him in.
Right, hopefully he's unmuted.
Hopefully he's there still. But let's get our guest in for this week, guys. As mentioned at the top of the show, our guest in is Innocence, player in Team One. He came with his best mate Baldur from
Aussie Slug 420, I think it was.
That's right, the Slugs. Came from Slugs and joined around about the same time I joined AUSNZ, which was a couple of months after it was formed, and rose through the ranks from Team 2 all the way up into Team 1 and pretty much have never looked back. And we've been wanting to get him on the show now for a while. I was pretty slack in that department, so sorry about that. But he's here now, and he's here for our 20th episode. So how about that? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Innocence, to the AUSNZ Community Podcast. Mate, it is a pleasure to have you here with us, and a huge welcome to you.
Hey guys, how are we? Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure.
Our pleasure, mate. Thanks for
cheers,
coming
guys.
on.
It is good to finally get here, I suppose. We talked about it for a long time, and it's good it's finally happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's finally happened, mate, and we couldn't be happier to have you on, and we're going to talk about a few things and everything like that. So, fantastic, mate, to get you on finally, and I guess we'll jump straight into it, mate. So, you tell us a bit about yourself, where you're from, and what do you do, and how you came to be in the AUSNZ community.
So I'm from Adelaide. I think Eva used to be in Adelaide, and I think Eva actually used to live near me as well as I can't remember his name now.
Loco,
Oz Loco. Yeah, I think he still lives up the road from me actually, and So I think I started playing hill climb right at the end of 2019, just after I finished my fly in, fly out career. Just seen some adverts come on the YouTube and that sort of thing, and thought, you know what, I'll give this game a go, and sort of went from there. Like all of us, no idea what we're doing, join a random team and just sort of learn the ropes, I suppose. And eventually I went to Melbourne to see Tool, and that's when I joined Aussie Slug, and I think I maybe just beat Baldur in, and sort of went from there. And obviously you have, sort of a team of 50 people, but only 10 people are active, and I just wanted a bit more from the game, and hence how we found AUSNZ. So it all went from there.
Yeah, you came up the ranks pretty quickly, mate. I remember playing with you in Team 2, and you and Baldur were always topping the score sheet, and it was a bit of a rivalry there between you guys, a friendly, healthy rivalry, and always trying to outdo the other ones. And
we sort of both hit it off straight away, and both got a lot of things in common, and I think our GP and skill level was always about the same, and we sort of carried this friendly rivalry and this camaraderie all the way through. And he'd outscore me, and it didn't matter where I was on the leaderboard. As long as I was beating Baldur, I was happy, and that's sort of what it was. He'd edge me on, then I'd edge him on, and we pretty much were always 1-2 sort of thing for months on end. I suppose it was good.
Yeah, you had that similar rivalry between Goose and Muzz. Had a very similar rivalry.
With
the daily competition and things like that, and you guys came in through Team 2, and you smashed it, and you did really well. And you weren't in Team 2 for very long. I think it was only about 3 or 4 months, and then you just went straight to Team 1.
Yeah, I think when Cam was the leader, he sort of reached out to me and said, I'm scoring pretty well. I think my GP was maybe only around 5,000 or 5,500 when I sort of eventually went to Team 1, but I was sort of scoring pretty well for my GP, which is what we sort of talked about. Back in the day with the scoring system, you'd have events that suited high GP, and you'd have events that sorted like skill level. And it's the whole thing's changed these days, but back in the day, whatever suited you could always get a good score out of.
Yeah. It's it's changed now, hasn't it? From a couple of years ago. The game, obviously, it's it's gotten to the point where it's just getting to the point where things are becoming more of a mission than fun and competition.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I guess we'll touch on my sort of retirement from the game, but yeah, it is very much like that. So
yeah. Now you're not officially retired yet. You're still in the process. Are you? About thinking about it and
yeah, well, I did dry July, which is obviously no alcohol for a month in Australia, which was probably something I needed to do. But then I thought, while I'm doing this, I'll take a month off a hill climb. It might spark something inside to want to play again. And then everyone was organising Dream Team, and I think it was Cheese reached out and said, would I want to do Dream Team? I said, yeah, absolutely. It might spark something up and I might start liking the game again. So I had the month off and joined the Dream Team, but it really did nothing for me. The structure of the team events and the events that are actually going into it are just not fun anymore, and they're just stressful and just really frustrating, and it's hard to enjoy something when that's what this game's about, enjoyment and just taking a break away from everyday life. But the game's not that anymore. So
and it's not enjoyable when you keep matching the same teams month after month as well. So it's frustrating.
We've got our channels, like me, Cheese, Dreddy, and that we could pretty much predict exactly who we're playing every single time, and we're 100% accurate. First game will be Unity, next game Discord, then we'll play Discord 2, and it's like, then we'll play Syndicate, and it's like we pretty much predict every single team will play before we get there, and it's not fun. We're not at the same skill level as Unity. We never have been, we never will be, even with Dream Team. So that matchmaking system is so flawed. So
Unity is one of the strongest teams in the world. Like, they're one of the best teams in the world. And to say that AUSNZ are on a similar skill level, and I definitely don't agree with that at all.
No, look, Reese is lying to himself if he thinks that. That's for sure.
It's not just Reese. It's the whole development team. They really need to fix the auto matchmaking system for the better, and they really need to dig deep and try and fix things, because at the moment it is not working. So it's not all Reese. It's everybody at the Fingersoft development team. They really need to get their act together and fix it for the players, for the community. So,
it's all about the community, absolutely.
Yeah. Eva and Pete, mate, let's welcome in our guest, to the podcast as well. Sorry, I've been hogging it.
Hey, welcome, mate. As a 35-year Adelaidean, it's nice to be able to chat to someone who understands iced coffee.
Yeah, we were reminiscing on that just before we jumped in the podcast. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, no, good to hear your voice, and I've seen you across multiple channels and multiple events and everything else. So it's good to chat to you.
No, cheers. Yeah, it is good to finally hear some voices and put some faces and voices to names. So,
cool.
Now, be honest, mate. Have you listened to one of our episodes before?
Back when they first started, I did listen to them all the time. And then I did get pretty slack, pretty busy with all life.
It's okay, mate. It's understandable.
I had a break in between, but I did listen to the episode, the last one with JR. So I listened to that during the week just to try and see what I was getting myself into again. So
you just wanted to hear JR's beautiful voice, didn't you?
There may have been some of that, yeah.
Which episode did you listen up to at the start?
I'm trying to remember. I definitely listened to maybe the first 3 or 4.
Did you listen to the Reese episode?
No, I still haven't. I need to go. I think I need to jump on Spotify and find that and then listen to that one.
That was number 4.
Was it? I must have listened to the first 3, then maybe one after that, and then so a bit all over the place.
You must have just seen Reese's name. Stuff. I said I want to listen to this one.
Yeah, he never answers complaints, so why bother?
Yeah, there's a subject that I want to touch on as well. That's quite important, and it really needs to be spoken about. But we'll get to that in a sec. You know, you want to just tell us a bit about your HCR2 history, mate, and then we'll go into some some deeper subjects from there.
Yeah, well, obviously, I think I obviously mentioned before, I think I started right at the end of 2019. We were away camping and I kept seeing the adverts pop up and thought, oh, you know what, I'll give the game a go, and started playing. No idea what I was doing. Just spending money on useless stuff. And I think I got the Mark 1, then I went straight to the Super Diesel, and I really enjoyed the Super Diesel, and that was the first car I maxed in terms of the actual vehicle, not the parts. And yeah, just kept playing, and I think I joined my first team pretty well straight away, and I think there was only about 10 people in the team, and no one was active, no one was chatting. And yeah, I think I mentioned I went to Melbourne to see Tool, which was around March 2020, just before COVID sort of really hit, and that's when I joined Aussie Slug, and pretty active team, a lot of cool guys in there, and that's when I met Baldur, and obviously our rivalry from there, and our mates and shit went from there, and we're in Aussie Slug. Yeah, the Slugs. Yeah, we were in
Slugs
there for a while.
And also Snake. Snake came from Slugs as well.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, correct.
Snake is he's a champion of a guy. He's a great bloke.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a top bloke, and I have to admit I haven't been in touch with him for a while, so I should reach back out to him again. And yeah, so we were in Aussie Slug for a while, and then we sort of found, me and Baldur were just first and second all the time. We had real low GPs and always first, second, and we thought, you know what, there's got to be more. There's got to be more active teams out there, and I think Baldur originally found AUSNZ, and he spoke to me about it, and thought, you know what, we'll do it. So I reached out, and I think Pete, you were the first person to chat to me in the sort of welcome room, and
yes, I was.
We had a bit of a chat, and I thought, you know what, Baldur, let's do it. So we, it was a pretty hard decision to leave a team that you were a part of, but yeah, so we both sort of left at the same time, and Snake followed us, and straight into Team 2, and I think you beat me the first game. And then I think the second, yeah, you did. I think you got the MVP, and then
no, I wouldn't have got the MVP.
Oh, I reckon you did. I reckon you got first MVP, and then I think, the second round, I think I had that sorted, and I was straight up to MVP. And I think sort of between Baldur and myself, we were pretty much all fighting between MVPs for the rest of our time in Team 2. So.
Yeah. Back in those days, Pete was lead. He was the leader in that team.
He was leader, yes. Yeah, he was, yep. And
good old days.
Yeah, then I think Cam reached out and eventually jumped into Team 1, and sort of the rest is history. But in the whole time,
he told you to go up there. you and Baldur both go up.
Yep. Yeah,
then I think killing it. You need to go.
Yeah, and then I think Muzz put me up to co-leader of Team 2, trying to get me to stay. But I think our goal was to always be top, the top tier team. So, and yeah, I guess the rest is history. So,
yeah,
brilliant,
awesome.
Yeah, you've both been killing it for a long time now, and yeah, he's a massive part of the community. So, there were a great decision in the end to come on over to AUSNZ, as was mine.
I'd never looked back. I mean, it's the community more than anything. Just meeting people that are from the same state, or a lot of similar like music tastes. How many guys we all love the same music and same movies and all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
I was actually blown away when I asked the question. So, how many other metalheads do we have here?
And then it's everyone like me.
Yeah. I was actually surprised at who was into
unreal.
it.
Yeah, unreal.
Like Muzz. I didn't expect Muzz. Luigi as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Muzz doesn't like our super heavy screamo stuff. He prefers his sort of 80s power metal. Yeah, that's the one. But
he's old school generation metal. He's like, yeah, you give him Black Sabbath and it's all over. So you obviously love Tool.
Yep.
Some of the other bands. I think we'll have some music questions later, so I probably shouldn't really ask them. Let other people ask them. So, there is a subject I do want to touch on before we go anywhere else, mate. Kate, it's very important. Is it's the subject of men's mental health. Now, it's a silent killer worldwide. It's something I know this is not part of the game, guys, and I'm very sorry, but look, it's something that really needs to be brought up because a few of us go through it, and we need to ask each other, are we okay? Is everybody okay out there? Because we've just had in here in Australia, Are You Okay Day? And I messaged a couple of friends and things like that I haven't heard from in a while and asked them if they were, how they're doing and how they're okay. And I got chatting and I got a response out of most people. So, it's kind of close to your heart because you've got a couple of mates who are going through it as well. So, it's a very important subject to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think with the mental health for men, I think it's not so much that we don't talk about it. I think it's once we get talking, we talk and we really open up, but it's that initial start of that conversation. Sometimes that's all it takes is just someone to ask you, how are you? But then when you open up, it's actually up to the other person to really respond and listen. I think the problem is so many people don't really know what to say or what to do. If you're trying to open up and you see that standoffishness from the other person, I think you go, oh, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm not going to say anything. So I think it's really up to the person. If you ask if someone's okay, you've really got to actually be there to listen and try and, say the right thing, I suppose, to help that person. I think that's more what it is.
Absolutely agree.
I have to agree. Look, this Are You OK Day is great. It's
it's only one day though.
Yeah. But
it should be all the time. Yeah.
It's opening awareness to the fact, but what it doesn't do is prepares the people who ask the question for what's actually going to happen next.
Yeah, correct. Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I've asked a lot of people. I've had a lot of this over my life, through lots of different experiences from when I was in year 11. A school teacher's brother committed suicide. To this was 30 years ago now, and it changed the school teacher's life. We're still friends on Facebook. She's been campaigning for this sort of stuff for years, and asking the question is one thing, but being prepared to actually do something when someone says no is the message we really need to get across to people. Because when someone says, no, I'm not all right, you need to be able to handle that. You need to be able to, take a step back and go, right, okay, well, let me process that for a second. But let's talk, and let's talk properly, not just peripheral stuff, So, yeah, it's something that is close to my heart because I've been involved with it for a very, very long time. And it's takes a lot out of a lot of people, and
it's something that's just extremely important, and we just got to keep talking about it because it's a silent killer. That's what it is, and it's huge. And look, I don't want to get too.
The more we talk about it, the easier it's going to get to talk about.
Yeah, because you think you know somebody, and all of a sudden, the next day they're gone. Like, take Paul Green, for example, which was a NRL coach for North Queensland who recently took his life. And somebody of that caliber who's famous and, they're in the public eye and, they're well off, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. And you certainly don't know what goes inside someone's head. Because on the outside, they're all happy, smiling, laughing, and everything. But on the inside, it is a dark, dark, dark place. And what happened to him, I just feel so sorry for his family, but it really, really takes you back, makes you think, you know, it really, really gets to you. So that's why, look, I don't want to go into this too much, but obviously there's somebody in our community who is struggling now with mental health, and that person knows who he is, and we all know who that person is. We love him very much, and we want him to get well, and we every day we are, hoping he does.
The thing is, like, if we all know who we're talking about, and there's many of us going through the same thing, and it only takes, I'm quite vocal about it, and I've expressed a lot of things that I'm going through with a lot of you guys, and I think I guarantee a lot of us are going through the same thing, but only a couple of us actually vocal and speak out, and are strong enough to make that decision. You know what, guys, I'm not doing well. And then sometimes it's nice to just share that. So I guarantee that there'll be a lot of other guys in the server that are going through the same thing. So we just need to look out for all of those guys. So, if someone's really chatty on Discord and all of a sudden they're not, maybe there's something going on. So maybe it's just to reach out to those guys and, or women, whoever, just to see what's going on. So.
Yeah, and I'm guilty of that too. There's some people on Discord that I haven't spoken to in a while, and I really feel bad about that. So I'll make it my mission next week to reach out to a few of those people and to say g'day, because I need to really do that as well. So you make a good point there, mate. Yeah, it's like I said, it's something that we need to always continue to talk about, and it's need to be raised awareness, and like Eva said, and you that you said it's that next question after when they say, please, I need help. You need to actually do something about it. So,
like the thing with I'm stumbling for words. I'm sorry, but the thing with Facebook, social media, and all that sort of stuff is, up until social media existed, you could walk up to someone, talk to them, all that sort of stuff. Then social media started, and we see it's the 80-20 rule. You see 20% of their life, and it happens to be 80% of the best parts of their life, but you're not seeing the 20% of their low life that's happening 80% of the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's correct.
That makes sense.
So and then of course, in front of all their peers and their friends, people can be A, and when they're on their own, they're B, and they don't post about being in the B state or whatever. So no one knows about it. They're like, oh, I didn't know that. And we're all guilty of it. We're all guilty of having the persona that we have when we're in front of our friends, the persona we have when we're in front of our family, and the persona we have when we're alone. And letting people in, especially when they ask, "Are you okay?" Letting people in is really hard. So I think the answer to that is, the more people that ask, the more people that ask and ask genuinely, is what can make a difference.
Before we go on, it's the people we have in our community, Pete, Eva, all you guys, all the guys we have in this podcast channel, or everybody in the community. You know a lot about people than some of your in real life friends, and not to mention your family. You know a lot more about. Like, I would have to say I know a lot about Eva and Pete because we've been talking for a couple of years now. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's, about somebody's life here, but you've never met that person in real life. But you know more about them than you know about your next door neighbor. It's crazy. Like, it's just, I don't know how to.
Funny
I
you
don't know
say
how to
that,
explain
actually, because I've got some next door neighbours that moved in 4 or 5 months ago. I haven't even met them yet.
There you go. So there you go. It's a perfect example because Yeah, it's just crazy to think that your friends are on here mean more to you than some of your real life friends. That's saying something, isn't it?
Yep.
All right, guys. Moving on. So HCR2. So, yeah, you love your music. So, have you seen any other bands live? What's some of the best gigs you've been to?
I went to a Silverchair concert when I was young, back when the Freak Show was on. I was young, probably only 10 or 11. I think my dad took me. That was good. I think that was the first concert I actually ever went to at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. And probably a couple years after that, I got to go see Deep Purple. Same thing. I was probably only 11 or 12, and that was really cool.
Nice.
Been to Big Day Out numerous times. Obviously, seen every time Tool came, I've seen Tool. I've seen Rammstein at Big Day Out.
Yes.
That would have been so good.
It was hilarious because I think Tool ended up playing. Rammstein were on before Tool, then Tool were playing, and Rammstein come out with flamethrowers, started trying to shoot them with flamethrowers and set them on fire.
Was that Big Day Out 2001 or 2003?
It would have been around then, yeah.
I saw the same Big Day Out, but it was in Sydney.
Yep. Yeah, it was obviously set up, but it was quite funny to watch. Maynard running away on stage, and same as Adam running away, trying not to get set on fire. So it was quite funny. I think I went to Big Day Out and seen Neil Young. Seen him it might have been a few years after that. I've seen, I'd say Tool. I've seen Tool, I think 6 times in concert now, and every time they come back, I'll be going. So
we're going to go all together, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go to Melbourne.
Yep, we'll go to Melbourne.
Yep. I hate to run on the parade here, but
yeah.
I saw Metallica in concert in 1991.
Oh,
yep.
91.
I was 3.
I was 3.
This was for the Black album tour.
Yep.
I had my appendix taken out 2 weeks prior, and I got to the front of the mosh pit with my left arm covering my scar. Right?
That's dedication.
I danced all the way to the front of the mosh pit, and they played a 3-hour set with a 15-minute break. And in the 15-minute break, guitarist, drummer stayed on stage and played Moby Dick.
Yeah, Led Zeppelin, yep.
Right? And it was epic. Absolutely epic.
Oh. So that would have been Kurt Hamlet and Lars Ulrich.
Yeah, Lars. Yeah, I'm not good with names. So, but oh mate, it was amazing, absolutely amazing. And then I got to the front of the mosh pit and I couldn't go back. So this big, 7-foot Maori just looked at me. I nodded, and he grabbed me like I was a porcelain doll and just lifted me up and pushed me into the walkway where I walked back to the back of the stage. And
yeah, awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Very awesome.
I wish they bring Big Day Out back. That was just I loved Big Day Out.
Yeah, I think they just really struggled to get sort of good headlining bands to come. I think, and I think that was sort of the demise.
Just the music.
Soundwave was another good one.
Yeah, Soundwave.
They should bring back.
Yep.
See, Big Day Out was going for a change because they started off with different type of music, and then in the late 2000s, they basically it was all becoming like dance type music, and because it started off with like heavy hard rock, like heavy metal type music, and then it was just becoming like a dance festival. So I think that's where they lost it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Soundwave was good. I went to a couple.
Yeah. I went to the very last one in Melbourne. That was good.
Yeah, but they need to bring something else back. I mean, there's not really many festivals now that I'd probably go to be honest. So, yeah. Well, I'm too old to go to them anyway. Yeah, so
never too old.
Never too old. Never too old. What's okay? Before we get on to any questions, Eva and Pete, any other topics we want to ask before we get into some questions?
I think we should we do the questions or should we do the quiz?
Yeah. See, with quiz, you need somebody else to verse the person, though, don't you? Or do we just go
No,
up against each other?
we don't need to verse anyone. He can just be himself.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I reckon. Yeah. Let's do the quiz. Let's go for it.
All right, let me pull up the spreadsheet before you start.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say before we get stuck into the quiz and questions, mate?
Nah. I think some of the questions may sort of lead into a few other things I wanted to chat about anyway, and obviously I've got no idea what's coming in the quiz, so we'll see what happens there.
So he hasn't listened to the episode before, a couple episodes before. What's her name?
JR.
For JR, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
so
is
episode
our
20
only
quiz. I am taking score. I have the spreadsheet open.
The
Right,
never
guys.
have I ever
Yep.
quiz.
Yep.
So it is 1 point for each one you have never done before. It's just got to be
Fair
short,
enough.
sharp, and there's 12 in total. Have you ever missed a team event?
No.
Have you ever hated a public event?
Yes.
Have you ever picked an easier map for the boss level?
Yes.
Have you ever scrapped legendary parts before excess?
Yes, accidentally.
Have you ever used up all your special tickets on a single run?
No, I've still got 140.
What? 140?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think, yeah, anyway.
The Cope has something like 150 as well.
Me
doesn't it?
and Vicope were always on par. Every video he come out, I had always the same amount of tickets as him.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've had a bit of time off, so he'll be well in front of me now.
Yeah.
Same score as well, I bet.
I wish.
The next one is, have you ever had a perfect 40K score?
No, close, but never.
Have you ever fallen asleep while grinding adventure maps?
No.
Oh, I have. Have you ever taken a long break from playing HCR2?
Yes.
Yes. Have you ever rage quit at some point in time? As in
Yes,
throwing the phone?
Yeah, I've broken a phone. Yep.
Have you ever kicked a team member by accident?
No.
Well, this one doesn't really apply to you, but have you ever banned an idiot from a team server?
Yeah, I think. Oh, yes. I won't say his name, but I think we all know who we're talking about. I think he goes by about 6 different names, but we all worked pretty hard to ban him from the community and the team. So,
Yes. And
Yep.
the last question, have you ever done a face reveal on any Discord server?
He just did.
Excluding us.
I reckon it might have been not this Christmas, maybe the Christmas before. I think I did a bit of a face reveal with a few of the other guys, and I think Goose, Baldur, and a couple of the other guys sort of chucked a face reveal up. So yeah.
Yep. Excellent. And that's the end of it.
Oh, cool.
Let's see how you win.
I will say that you have not come first compared to other players so far. You're in second spot, which means you get just the same as the guys who come in first spot. You get absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Cool.
Yep. So you got 7 points.
We might grant you a little roll thing later on.
Yep.
That's what
So
you get.
7 points is actually worse than 6 points, because the topic of this is to try and get as little points as possible.
Yep.
So yeah, unfortunately, you have won absolutely nothing. But don't feel so bad, because everybody else wins nothing as well.
All good. That was a bit of fun. That was good.
I'll
Yeah,
send you
excellent.
I'll send you a fake Nitro link later on, mate. That should that should help you out a little bit.
Just make me co-leader.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yes, we'll give you co-leader too, mate. It's so important.
Yep.
We'll just give you that.
We'll send you to the CC team.
Yeah.
I'll join
my
cheese.
favorite is when you turn up and I always look at the other team, to see the power of the other team, before we start a match, and look at them and I go, oh, everybody's co-leader, right? And you go, and the thing that goes through my head is in Oprah Winfrey's voice, and you can be co-leader, and you can be co-leader, and you can be co-leader.
Yep.
Funny. That is too funny. Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's probably duck into some
Community questions.
Community questions. There's a couple to go through. Now we're not going to put you on the spot, and talk about any adult channel questions here. That we got a couple from JR, but sorry JR to disappoint you on that, but we do need to keep it G rated. Anyway, let's probably get stuck into it. Pete or whatever, you guys can go first. So I actually haven't looked through the questions. I want to find a good one for you. If you guys want to go first.
Yeah, I'll go first. I've got a question from Creepers. If you weren't a Sparky, what job / trade / career would you be interested in doing?
Yeah. So I did have a
Sparky
think
being
about.
electrician.
Yep. I always wanted to be a tradie. I love working with my hands and building stuff and making stuff. So I would probably be some other sort of trade. But the last few years I've really been enjoying the cooking and bit of food creation. So I think I'd probably have my own cafe or little food truck or something, just making burgers and pulled burgers and hot dogs and chips and just all those basic sort of foods, but trying to perfect them sort of thing. So yeah.
I must admit, I have been drooling over your creations for some time now in the food channel.
Me too. And we need to get you on MasterChef or My Kitchen Rules, mate.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not into making real fancy, elegant food, just basic, good tasting food, like nothing fancy. So
yeah, right. Can any of your relatives or the wife make good food as well?
Yeah, my wife's quite a good cook. She goes all right, and her mum, so my mother-in-law, she's actually quite a very good cook as well. Quite creative and makes some really good food. But she
get on MKR because that's one of the
yeah.
shows we watch. So go for it.
Yeah, but my mother-in-law lately's really been handballing a lot of the cooking to me for sort of Father's Day and Mother's Days and birthdays and all that. So I'm happy to take the reins.
How flattering is that?
Yeah, it is good. It is good that someone else likes my cooking.
Yes. All right, Eva, you got one?
Yeah, I've got one. This is I'm going to call this the goose take on Amy's question. So Amy's question is, if you could pick 5 people to start a team with, who would it be? But Goose has asked, if you could pick 5 people to have a dram with, who would they be?
Yeah, I did actually struggle with this one because there's probably a lot of people I would like to have a drink with, and I'll actually start off with Goose because Goose was in Adelaide not long ago, and he really tried to catch up, and I tried to catch up with him. But no matter what I could do with my schedule, I couldn't get any time to free up to catch up with him. And the places he was staying were, over an hour's travel from where I was. So that obviously made it harder to catch up. So I think Goose would be up there for a dram because we both seem to like the same whiskies and the same regions of whiskies. So I think we'd have a good old chat there. My wife's grandfather, unfortunately, never got to meet him. He passed away before I met my wife, but he was, funny enough, an electrician as well. I'd love to have been able to have a whiskey with him. So I'm going to say a communitive Tool. If I could have a whiskey with all of those guys from Tool, that'd be great. Some of the stories and stuff, just been have a chat with those guys. That would be pretty amazing.
That would
And
be a good whiskey,
yeah,
that one.
yep. And I think I got one more. I think my crush would be Rachel Riley from 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown. Big crush on her. She's my favourite. So if I could just meet her, have a whiskey with her, I'd be set. She's smart. She's clever.
She could turn
She's
my
very
numbers
good.
anytime.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah,
Yep.
I think that'd round out my top 5.
Good answer, that. All right, GTR, you're up.
Yeah, I was just going through some questions, and we got a question from Just Chill, who is a fellow South Australian. He says, "Do you like living in South Australia?" Well, I think we know the answer to that. And when I'm in Adelaide next, can you cook him a steak? And same with pretty much the rest of the community, mate. We need to get you on the barbecue.
I do love living in SA. I don't know if I'd want to live anywhere else, to be honest. I worked in Darwin for 4 years when I was fly out, and worked up in Queensland, worked in the Pilbara. I think out of all the places, I think I definitely do enjoy living here. So yeah, it's, I don't know, everything's pretty close, convenient, pretty good community of people.
To extend on that question, mate, have you ever been overseas?
Yes, I spent a year when I was fly out working in Mongolia. So I had to go to Korea for a little bit to get visas and stuff, and did a lot of transit through Hong Kong to get up to Mongolia. So yeah, spent a year overseas. So
there you go. Wow, that would have been quite an experience.
An experience, that's the word. Yep, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, you're right.
So yeah, but no, that was good. I learned a lot over there. But and yes, Just Chill. If we could ever catch up, yeah, I'll cook you a steak. No worries.
And just for the record, what's the best way to cook steak? Rare, medium rare, well
it's
done.
definitely medium rare. There's no other way. Absolutely no other way than medium rare. So
you got to go
Max.
You got to go the it's the 6-2-2 method, mate. 6 minutes one side, 2 minutes on the other, 2 minutes rest.
Yeah, it really depends on the steak you're cooking as well. You know, if you're reverse searing, say, a 1 kilo ribeye, you know, it can take, 45, 50 minutes just to get up to the internal temp, and then, a quick sear either side and then some rest time. So, it can take an hour to cook a steak, but at the end of the day, it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No,
medium
thickness of
rare.
meat has a lot to do with it.
Yep,
I'm a fan of almost blue. So seared both sides, and
Okay.
kind of just a bit juicy. Like,
So
as long as it's not cold, at the inside, I don't mind rare either.
Yeah, me too. It's got it can't be cold. It needs to be warmish, hottish inside. Yep,
100%.
But it has to be very good quality steak to do that.
Oh yeah, you need a good fillet or something.
Like eye fillets or something like that.
Yeah, fillets and stuff. Yep.
Not just something from Woolies.
Mind you, some of the eye fillets from Coles are actually pretty good. You get a bit of a dry brine in the fridge overnight with some salt and pepper, and do a bit of a butter based. You can nail them pretty good.
Yeah, I can't buy any steaks from either of the major supermarket chains. It's got to be straight from a great quality butcher.
Yep.
If you want to get,
they're definitely better. Yeah, definitely better.
Yep.
All right, that sparks off the next question from Jack Rabbit. If you would be invited to compete on a barbecue cook-off, 1, what type of meats would you cook? 2, what marinade or dry rub would you use? 3, sides, dips, and sauces that will go best with your dish. And 4, name 2 AUSNZ players you would want to be on your team to help you out. And the last one, create a silly barbecue team name. Example, Pork Hub or the Spice Boys. Now, I said pork.
Pork.
Pork. All right, just let me find those questions so I can read them out as I go. I think if I was to do a big sort of barbecue cook-off, you've got to go like a pulled pork. I can feed heaps of people, taste good, and they're actually generally pretty easy, just very time-consuming. So, I think I'll go some pulled pork. I just use a dry rub, so generally get it out 2 days before. Cover it in a dry rub. There's a lot of different brands and stuff that you can buy. I found some pretty good ones, from the butcher. So yeah, just a dry rub's more than enough. Obviously pulled pork, you've got to go a nice brioche bun toasted, some barbecue vinegar sauce, and obviously the good old coleslaw. So 2 players to help me out. I think I'd have to go Pete. Pete's quite a passionate cooker. He's got a beard. I think 2 beards behind the counter would go well. And I'm actually going to go on that limb and say Amy, because I think Amy, her diplomatic skills and her being able to organise stuff would be on par. So if she could just do all the organising and all that stuff, she could run all that, and then me and Pete could be up behind the grill. So
yeah, let's make that happen.
And silly name, I don't know, Notorious PIG or Albert Einstein or something. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's a good one.
Albert Einstein. Yeah, I did Google
Yeah.
that one, to be honest. Yeah.
Oh, well done.
But yeah. So yeah.
Awesome.
All right, Eva.
That's Eva's up.
So this is from Emperor Bill. What proportion of the tracks do you know, like remember them, how to approach and set up the car as they come up in cups? Or do you just keep doing the daily, weekly challenge races?
Back in the day, I used to finish cups like all the time, especially at a low GP, getting all those legendary parts and all those chests during the seasons, like critical to building your GP. So I do remember 90% of the tracks pretty well. And generally it was just, rally car with the wheels, coin boost and fuel boost or something, just to pretty well smash through it. And, the occasional ones, what's that 1 kilometre city one?
Yep.
I'd always, I'd just Kanga Super Diesel. I think I was getting, 30, 32 or 34 seconds on that one. So, yeah, generally, I remember a lot of them, which is probably pretty bad, but yeah. I was never much into the dailies. I hate time trials. They're too inconsistent and too much based on luck.
No, it's just a lucky bounce. It's not luck.
Yeah. Luck to whether your turbo actually works or it doesn't and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't like it.
That's just all timing. That's all it is.
Yeah, but sometimes your turbo actually boosts you over a mountain. Sometimes it doesn't, whether it's timing or not, but it's too inconsistent. Like say if you look at the Super Diesel, max start boost, max jump shocks, max wings, every start boost should be identical. Sometimes your wheels lift off the ground, sometimes they don't. It's just too inconsistent. So
Well, I think it's because that perfect start, the variation
Depends
in the
where
perfect
you
start,
hit the needle.
the green
Yeah.
bit is it's a wide band to get a perfect start, but there is such a thing as a perfect start. Does that make sense?
Correct. Yeah,
Smack
it's
bang in the
correct.
middle.
You
But
got to get that little line right smack bang in the middle.
No, it's
Correct,
not the
but
middle. It depends on the vehicle. This is the other thing.
yeah,
Every
that's
vehicle
right.
is
Yep.
slightly different because the rally car is actually above the middle, and the rally car, if you rev it up, if you go max revs and then back off, it actually is a slower start than rev, match revs, get perfect start.
It's too inconsistent, and when it comes up in
It is.
team
I'll
events,
agree with that. It's extremely
when you have a time trial in a team event, it's brutal because there's so many things relying on actually getting a good run that it's ridiculous. So I hate time trials, and I'm sure I speak for a lot of people.
And there's one thing with the rally car that I learnt from Breezy. There is a perfect start, but it isn't actually getting the perfect start. It's faster than perfect start, but you don't get the perfect start, if that makes sense.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, that is true.
It's a secret perfect start. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Who's next?
I don't know. If you actually answered Amy's question, did you pick your best 6 players?
No. Sorry, I asked Goose's question, which
Okay.
was a take on Amy's question.
Okay. I'm going to ask Amy's question if that's okay. So, and I'm going to expand it to a 2-part question. The first part is to pick your best 6 players to be on your team. So 5 other players. And then I'm going to ask to pick your 5 best world players, because you're an experienced CC division player and you know a lot of world class players.
Yep.
So, and by the way, do you know where you placed in AUSNZ's top 50 countdown?
Oh, no idea.
You don't know where you placed?
No idea.
We had you in the top 50.
Yeah, okay, no, cool.
Did you want to know, or did you want us to find out for yourself?
Yes, let us know.
We placed you at number 38.
Yeah, okay, no, cool.
Could have been higher, but if you see the list, I'm pretty sure you'll agree that.
Oh, look, we got a lot of guys. BG, Cheese. We got a lot of RS the Boss. We got all those guys up there. So
this is just everyone in Australia, not just AUSNZ.
Yeah.
We got a lot of good Aussie players.
Yeah, Australia, New Zealand top 50. And you could see the list on the server, mate. If you want, you can have a look at that later. But
yeah, we'll have to check that out.
But your you came in 38th, mate. So also, your top 5 players that you want to have on your team.
Yep.
And the top 5 world players.
So obviously Baldur, the way that we edged each other on back in the day, he'd get a 36, I'd go, damn it, then I'd get a 37, he'd go, nut, stuff you, I got a 38, then I'd have to go, oh, nut, I just couldn't beat him or whatever. So the way that we edged each other on, especially, when we're both at our peak. So, Baldur, obviously can't go past Cheese, probably one of the top 10 players in the world, I would think. Cheese, how consistent he always is. And he's a good bloke as well. We sort of chat a fair bit on Discord. So, Storm, RS the Boss, and I'm going to go BG. I looked up to BG, especially when I was starting out, seeing his name at the top of every adventure map in Australia. So yeah, I think that'd probably be my top 5 Aussie people, AUSNZ people. So.
Your top 5, we had every single one of those players in our top 10.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
So that's saying something there, right there.
Yep.
Man.
Oh, look, even Storm, comes back from Dream Team. If he's not first, he's second. Like he's unreal. So
yeah, we kind of didn't really put Storm where he probably should have been. And Stormy let me know about it too. So I
did reach out to Storm a couple of times, especially when we did the first Dream Team, and I used to try and keep in touch with him. But if he's not the most consistent player, when he's on, he's on. So,
well, we had Storm in 5th, and above him we had Zeke.
Oh, absolutely. Unfortunately, if he wasn't banned, I'd have had him in my list.
Yeah, we didn't take the ban thing into consideration. We thought we'd leave that out. We had BG at 3.
Yep.
And we had Freeman at 2 and Cheesy at 1.
Yeah, pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Even BG's from Adelaide too. I should actually reach out to BG. But yeah.
Is he in Adelaide?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he actually lives not far from where I used to live at my old house. So yeah.
Yeah, reach out to him for sure.
So
you've been in the CC team as well. So
yep.
What's your world? Who would you pick to be on your world team?
Oh, look, I'm still going to throw Cheese in there because Cheese is that caliber of top people in the world. So I want to sneak Cheese back into my list. Obviously, you're going to have to go Vereshak. Obviously, generally always go straight to watching him to see how he works out all the tracks.
Yep.
Obviously, CIS can in space. He's generally always up there. It's a pretty hard decision, really. I don't know.
It is. I'll run through some names that you could probably agree on as well. So you mentioned Canada Space, Vereshak. Then you've got one of the best team event players who has won the last 2 team event tournaments, which is Aguilos
Yeah, okay.
or Agelos. Can't
Yeah,
really
he's in
pronounce his name.
Unity, isn't he?
Yes, I
Is he
think he
Unity?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Unity. Or is he in Unity or Discord? One of those two. Then you got Leo Lu.
Yeah, Lilu, yeah. Yep.
You got Lingner, Linus, Zorro, Knight GP, Protect, Eric. This is some of the really good players there.
Yeah. I'd definitely go PR Linus. I think consistently he's always pretty good. I don't know if I go Knight GP. I just, to be honest, don't like his attitude. If I can say that.
You can say that, mate.
His head seems to be pretty far up somewhere else that it shouldn't be.
Yeah, no disagreements here. We
Yeah.
reached out to him because he was a consistent player in the daily server once upon a
Yeah,
time.
he was, yeah.
And he was going to make a decision where he wanted to join, and we reached out to him, and he pretty much gave us the arse and went to Unity or Discord. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, Unity, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Which, you know,
yeah. Oh, look, no doubt the guy's good, but, at least be humble about it.
Can in the space, great choice. Vereshak.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yep. Definitely PR Linus and Cheese. What's that? Is that pretty well 5?
Yeah, it's pretty much 5.
Yeah.
Mate,
yep. Lilu as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, Leo Lu. Yep, good choices.
Yep. The thing I liked probably back in the day, especially when CC first started and it wasn't auto matchmaking, like Unity would always let us get 1,400 points to get the ticket, and IO would not run tickets. There'd be a lot of guys sitting down the bottom with 0 scores, obviously, so that at least we could come up and get that 1,400 score. So I really appreciated what some of those guys used to do in those top teams, especially when they match us.
So you had good rapport with Unity and stuff with IO and stuff like that.
Yep.
You had a good relationship with him.
Yep.
And he would let you get to 1,400. That's great sportsmanship, isn't it?
Yep. And I think it was, I don't know if it was Team Vereshak, it might have been when he was New World Order or the World Order, he would do the same quite often. He'd be sitting down the bottom with 0 points, at least giving us a chance to get some scores up. So whereas these days, especially with versus Discord, or they're just like, nah, stuff you, we're just killing you. So there's sort of no sort of common ground there, I suppose.
It's changed a bit, hasn't it? From a couple of years ago where there was more. How do you say? There was more. Like more sportsmanship in the game.
Yep.
More respect. Respect is a big thing.
I think that we never ever got that from Discord, but teams like Vereshak's team or IO's team, quite often there was that bit of respect there that they would give us a chance to at least get that 1,400 to get that ticket. So
yeah. Who would you consider one of the sister teams for AUSNZ? Who would you consider them?
Oh, definitely Chaos, and EC Huckleberry, those guys have always helped us out with extra players, and they're in our community, we're in their community, so that sort of friendly relationship we have those guys is pretty cool. So
we have a good relationship with both those teams.
Yep.
Especially a lot of the Chaos guys.
Yep.
Yeah, so they got similar personalities to us, love music and things like that. And
yep. They often send me pings from their channel. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Who's next, Pete? I think you got, is
it? Yeah. I've got one from myself. This one's not really hill climb related, but I know you're also into your firearms. So what is your favorite type of shooting? Is it distance targets, clay pigeon, or precious antique cans?
Yeah, that was a good question. Yeah, no, it is a good question. It'd have to be a very tough. That's a very tough decision because I love long distance target shooting. You know, I've shot out to 600 meters. That's the furthest I've shot with my rifle. But have been meaning to get to a range that's a bit further. But it is extremely satisfying. You know, and you're shooting a round out to 600 meters, and like a second after, or you've shot the bullet, you hear the ting from the metal targets. Very satisfying.
I can't even see that far, let alone shoot that far.
Yeah, you need it.
Oh, you've got a scope.
You need a decent setup. Like I've got a 9-32 times scope. No, mine's might be 9-40. So it's pretty high powered scope, pretty expensive scope. So, and obviously the rifle suits that distance. So, but I would say probably my favorite type is IPSC. So you got your handguns, you got all your magazine pouches, you got your magazines on your belt, you got a holster, and basically you're running around trying to shoot all of the targets in a sort of stage as fast as you can. And, you're racing against other people, as a boy playing cowboys and Indians and armies or whatever, actually being able to run around with a gun shooting targets is extremely fun. So
that's a sport. That's a sport here in Australia.
Yep. It's all over the world, but yeah, it is very big in Australia.
I've seen it on YouTube, and I can't remember where I saw it. It was a documentary or something, and I saw it and I YouTubed it. And it's an actual sport where they go around in this little maze section of it's just got some walls, like wooden walls, tins.
Yeah, open up doors and
start shooting targets and go from the next one. It's like a course.
Yep.
And you just got to finish
it. Does sound like fun.
Oh, look, if you haven't checked it out, Google it, YouTube. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great bunch of people that do it as well. No one's crazy, or it's not like America, where we treat firearms a lot different over here. So the people are really cool, and it's a great community. So
you've obviously got your firearms license.
I do, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because it's harder to get a firearms license than it is to get a driver's license, to be honest.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
What you have to do to get a firearms license here is a lot, and to keep your license as well is equally as difficult. So
yes,
it's very expensive as well.
So you would get police checks randomly, wouldn't you? Would the police come?
Yeah, they do.
Check?
They do. Yeah, they'll come over and say, can we check your firearms, make sure they're secured, make sure you're up to standards and stuff. So they've got to be stored in your safe correctly, and all these requirements around storage and that. So there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through to get it and obviously keep it. So,
and the ammunition has to be in a separate safe.
Yeah, locked separately away. Correct. Yep. So, yep.
Well, there you go. That's
very good. Very, very good. Eva, you're up. I should probably start wrapping up soon too. It's getting quite late.
Yeah, it is late. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I actually like this one from Jackrabbit. It's actually quite funny, but I won't say it because I'd rather ask a question from someone else, because we've already had a question from her. RS Fiery has asked 3 questions, but I will basically just ask 2 of these 3 questions. First one is, would you rather do adventure or time attack, and why?
Adventure for sure. Adventure, sure. I don't mind adventure, but yeah, time attacks I hate. There's like we talked about before, they're too random, too much luck based. So
did you play HCR1 at all?
No, never.
Okay, all right. And then the second question is, which is your favourite car and why?
Super Diesel. I think just because it was the first car I ever maxed. In terms of the vehicle, I still actually don't have any vehicles that are fully maxed, even though I could. And I don't know, I just like the way it's sort of how unique it is, and even you can get some pretty good times, either kangaroing or start boost, jump shocks and wings. So some of the best world records are that setup. So yeah, I think that's why.
I was going to say, because wheelie boost was actually really good on the Super Diesel too.
Yeah, some of those tracks where you need the wheelie boost and then the jump shocks and that. I don't know how those guys do it, but yeah, it's talent.
It's because their reflex time is measured in.
It's got to be that special sword that they carry as well.
And the hat and the beard.
Yeah, and the paint as well. Yep, and the wheels.
And the
All
cape.
comes into play. Yeah, and the cape. Yeah, can't forget about the cape. All comes into play.
Yep.
Yeah, that Sunday countryside map is what you're talking about with the wheelie boost. It's got the little bridge, and you cross over. Then you go to the second bridge. Can't remember the map name, but that's the one where I'm thinking about wheelie boost with the super diesel.
Yep.
Yeah, good questions there. Anything else? Anyone else?
No, I'm good. I'm happy with all those questions.
Yep. Likewise.
All right. Yeah. Well, thanks once again for everybody getting their questions in, all the shout outs and everything like that. So thanks, guys. Keep them coming in for future episodes. We usually take this time, mate, to if you want to, give anybody some shout outs, thank some people on the server, talk about anybody that you want to mention. Now's the time to do it, buddy. So the floor is yours.
Yeah. No, obviously a bit of a shout out to Baldur. Obviously, always been good mates, and he's obviously taken some time off to deal with his issues and that sort of thing. And I do miss playing with him and miss chatting with him on Discord and all that. So definitely shout out to him, and I guess probably out to Reese, I suppose, and the Fingersoft community. A lot of guys quitting and a lot of guys unhappy with the team event formats and the way the events are put together and the scoring system and auto matching and all that sort of thing. So hopefully you guys are actually listening and can actually see how unimpressed a lot of the community is. And, I cancelled my VIP a long time ago due to, team events and that just being annoying and that. And I'm thinking I don't want to put any more money into this. So, yeah, that's about all, I think, guys.
Yeah, right.
Excellent.
And then just anybody in the AUSNZ server, mate, like a couple of the podcasters here and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, right. No, I do appreciate you boys having me on, and it's been a lot of fun. And yeah, shout out to you guys. 20 episodes, that's pretty impressive. So keep up the good work, and hopefully it continues to grow and go where you want it to go, I suppose.
We're glad that you're number 20, mate, to be on the show. So, yeah, no, it's been quite a ride, that's for sure. So, yeah, anyway, any last words for Pete and Eva?
Yeah, do you have any words for us?
No, I was going to say, mate, the next time I'm in Adelaide, it'd be nice to have a beer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, give us as much notice as you can. Obviously, me and Goose tried to catch up, and it just didn't work out. But if you can give us as much notice as you can, I can try and shuffle some work around. And
I don't have a problem with driving an hour because I've already driven 8, so one more is not a problem.
Yeah, no, that's it. Well, let us know, and we'll definitely do that.
Yeah, sounds good. Awesome.
Yeah, and thank you very much for coming onto the show. It's been great talking to you.
No, awesome, guys. Hopefully I didn't talk too much, but thanks for having me, and it was good to be here.
It's great. It was really good.
We definitely going to next time Tool come out. We're going to organise it. All seriousness, are you keen?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll be going regardless. So
let's pencil it next time. We'll keep an ear out for any touring dates. As soon as they announce something, we'll create a channel on the server, and we'll get this going. We'll get it organised.
I would have already bought a ticket by the time you guys have done that. So I'll be there.
Let's probably meet up at the Melbourne gig. I reckon
absolutely.
That's probably special for everybody because Dreddy and Greeny will come from Tassie, you will come from SA, and I'll come down from Sydney, and we'll meet up with the Melbourne boys
from the airport and drop you out front.
Yes, I reckon.
Sounds good.
That
we can
sounds
listen
like a plan.
to we can listen to it in the car and in the 11-speaker Bose.
That
sounds
would be
good.
Great. Yes, great. Yeah, awesome, mate. Thanks, coming on, mate. So, it's usually around about this time where we announce our next guest for the episode. Look, we have a couple of guests that are going to come on. but nobody that is 100% confirmed yet to appear on the next episode. But we do have a couple of guests which we'll announce in the server in all due time. Pete, Eva, have I forgotten anybody that are coming on next? I did have a list, but nobody that's confirmed yet, have they?
Yeah,
no one
no one's
yeah,
confirmed.
Not from
Yeah. Okay. All right. No problem at all. All right. Well, actually, we do have. Yeah. Okay.
Do you want to throw someone under the bus? Is that what you're doing?
I think I have been chatting to this person, and I definitely do want to get him on, which is it's another fellow team leader in the server, and it's another fellow Team 1 player and Team 2, which is Will, to come on. Yeah, Will and Gumby probably as a duo. If we can get them on as a duo, that would be great.
I don't know if he will.
Who? Gumby?
Will.
Yeah.
I was trying to make a joke.
Dad joke.
It went over my head.
I got it. No, I'm right there with you.
No, it went over my head. All right, cool. Thanks, guys, for listening, and we will see you guys in 2 more weeks. Thanks for going. See you later, and goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.